Hey there, everybody. This is Angela St. Julian, and I'm coming to you here today with Heidi Powell. Heidi, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I really just want to say before we get into everything, I know how much you must be, dealing with right now, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to come on. And I know this is going to be a little bit difficult, but let's work through it together and see what we can
Well,
do.
thank you. I actually cherish that you're doing this because I think that communication is important, and being able to get it out there is a good thing. So,
Yeah. So just
uh,
so that we can, I guess, have a starting point, let's first hear about you. Tell us a little bit about Heidi Powell. You.
oh gosh, that's super hard to do. Heidi Powell is married. I'm married to Kent Powell, and we have two daughters. We've been married. We're going on 38 years now, and that's an applause I hear from a lot of people. That's kind of, yeah,
Yes, that's a blessing these days.
right, it is. And our daughters are grown, and we have two grandchildren that are 8 and 4, and one in California and one here in Bellingham. So that's a joy. And uh, I don't know how much you want to know. I could go on forever. But my background started in graphic design, and I did a lot of logos and advertising things. We made up together. My husband and I worked side by side in different things, some different products, print products that we distributed locally for different businesses. I had my own coupon, was called the Coupon Directory, that I sold businesses advertising space in, and then distributed 2 different books throughout Bellingham and then at Whatcom County, which is a bigger part of the area, which includes all the towns in the county. We're up close to the Canadian border. And then I worked for a publishing company, and side by side with Kent, and we worked 4 different counties going up and down the road, that's a lot of work going up and down the road. And now I started my own website building business, and yeah, fun. I like the creative, the graphic part comes in, and I'm able to do some help. I mean, my main thing, I think, in life is to be a problem solver and to help people have a win-win situation. I think what's good for you is got to be also good for the people that you're helping, that you're dealing with. And so that's kind of my goal is to help people and get them to achieve businesses to, increase their profit line, and I've been successful with that. And got an electrician down in California that is like ecstatic, have definitely increased his bottom line, which is great.
Good.
And we do some pay-per-click and Facebook advertising and whatnot. But anyway, that I think we have a really great dog. We have
Don't
a
forget him.
beautiful, yeah, and he's 8 months old, and he's like as big as I am almost. He's a golden doodle.
Oh,
So that's our exciting thing.
it's a big dog, huh?
Absolutely. He's huge. He's a hugger. So
Oh, that's
we love
sweet. So look, you're a really busy woman. So with all that, you just do not have time for this.
Oh no, I have time. This has slowed me down. This whole experience has really slowed me down. It's been difficult to. I should have turned that off. You're going to hear things coming in. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
that's okay.
It's definitely affected my ability to work. So
Yeah.
hopefully we'll get through this and things will get back to normal.
Okay. So let's dig into what we're here to talk about, and that is HeidiPowell.com, your domain name. So when did you become the registrant owner of that domain name?
My husband bought that for me as an anniversary gift in 2005, so over 12 years ago, over a decade.
Okay. Oh, that's a long time. And have you developed it or do you use it for business, anything like that?
Well, it's been kind of a combination. It wasn't purchased or intended to be a website ever. The main reason for purchasing it was to be used as my email address, which is Heidi@HeidiPowell.com. Everybody can probably figure that out. So I guess I won't get too much spam more than I'm
Yeah.
getting, right? Um, that was the main reason. And I've used it continually for the last 12 years, over 12 years, for email purposes, all of my private contacts, and including business, because the different things that we've done, um, uh, like being a sales rep and whatnot, all email got forwarded into Heidi@HeidiPowell.com, and I reply from there. And also I used it for all my logins and whatnot. I did have it forwarding to different places that were mine, like my Facebook page and MySpace page. And we had a McGruff Safe Kids Total ID business, a franchise where we went to preschools and fingerprinted the kids and then taught them safety education on stranger danger and whatnot. And, I received emails through business contacts there, but it's kind of been a combination.
Okay. So you've been using it for email, like would that also be like more personal uses too? Like I don't know, say if you're creating bank accounts or online banking online or anything like that, do you have separate emails that you use for those?
No, everything has been under that for 12 years, and it's been a real panic with what's going on because, um, well, the privacy thing, I've got accounts out there. I've tried to change things that I know about, but I have accounts that I bump into every once in a while that are they have my personal information in there, and you can only if you don't have the password, you can reset the password by going in and requesting it, and whoever owns that or has access to emails that accounts that get hijacked,
Mhm.
they can go in and have a heyday with your personal information. I
Right.
have medical
I see.
logins,
Oh
medical
wow.
logins that I haven't been able to find even. So,
Oh,
yeah.
medical stuff. Oh wow. Okay, so let me back it up a little bit because I've been handling this as if anyone who's watching knows already what the situation is. So let me put this out here. What's happening with Heidi is that she is the registrant owner of the domain name HeidiPowell.com and has been using it for quite some time now. And now there is another Heidi Powell out there who's I think like a celebrity fitness, some a trainer or something, and she would like to get this domain name for her own use. So this Heidi that we're speaking to today is currently in a battle here to keep her name in her own hands. So let's now that I've kind of put that out there like that, let me ask you this, Heidi. When did you find out that there was another Heidi Powell out there who was interested in your domain name?
And well, we didn't know she was Heidi Powell at the time, but in 2012, now we know that it was her.
Mhm.
In 2012, we were contacted by an agent through GoDaddy, um, by someone that wanted to purchase it. And we obviously I don't want to sell it. It's my online identity,
Mhm.
like we talked about before with my logins and my um, personal email contacts. And of course said no. They were very persistent and kept called back several times. We kept saying no, saying no. It was very annoying. And um, then a couple years went by and we got another call from a gal that said she wanted to buy it for her friend who had the same name. And I traced the phone number to a gal that is a stay-at-home mom, had a lot of kids, like 4 or 5, I think, and writes a blog about organizing and happened to live in Phoenix, Arizona. I had just kept track of that information because I couldn't figure out, who is this person? I did some online searching and I found a doctor and a few other people. And I don't know, this person is a reality TV star. And at that time, I don't think she had any, I don't think she was on any program or anything. She actually didn't become Heidi Powell till 2010, which is 5 years after I acquired the domain. And then what happened? In May of 2016, I got a threatening call from a trademark attorney that wanted to buy it for their client, and told her again for the probably umpteenth time, I don't know how many times that, 5, 6, 7th time, that no, it's not for sale, that it is personal and it's my name, it's my identity, and I don't want to sell it. And then in July, we got a cyber squatting lawsuit filed against us that both my husband and I, because it's registered in his name, and accused of trying to profit, I guess it's to profit from her celebrity status name, and which was dead on arrival. That obviously, when you have purchased something before someone even had that name, there's no possible way that you could be taken advantage of it. And we don't do the same. I didn't have a website up until May, after the threatening call from that attorney. I knew from the way she talked to me that something was happening, that they were accusing me of trying to, anybody calls up and accuses you of trying to benefit off of somebody else's name. I immediately deliberately put up a one-page site that said, I don't want to hide, this is who I am, and this is what I've done in life, and here's my husband, and here's what, where we live and what we do. So there would be absolutely no question of who I am and what I do. So that seemed like obvious. It spoke for itself, but that was in May. And then in July, we got the cyber squatting lawsuit filed against it. So it didn't do any good.
Are you, so after you get this call from the trademark person and you say, no, I don't want to sell it, then she tells you you're trying to profit off of somebody else's celebrity status. Did she have any type of proof of that? Did she show you any type of traffic that made it seem like you were feeding off of this celebrity in some way?
No, it's strange because she said that you're not using it because it wasn't being pointed at anything at that moment. It was supposed to be going to my click-to-call mobile website for relatives, and basically, just go to HeidiPowell.com. It wasn't on business cards or whatnot. This is personal and easy for, to pass on to people that care about you. They can follow you around that way. So that was her main thing. You're not using it. And I told her, yeah, I am using it. And then she said, it must be nice to be benefiting from traffic that's meant for a famous person. Those were almost her exact words. So that was super confusing, other than I said, it is pointed. No, there was no traffic. There still is no traffic, really, other than what this whole ordeal is caused, because there's been a lot of talk and interviews, radio, newspaper. It's gone national because it's shocking.
Okay. So the traffic, so you're now tracking your traffic and you feel like it hasn't actually gone anywhere until now that we're all talking about it, and that's traffic coming in from people reading the articles.
Serious about online trading? Secure your funds, keep your merchandise safe, and use a company that keeps both the buyer and seller protected the whole way through. That's escrow.com. Payments you can trust.
Okay, so let's go back. You said that they filed a cyber squatting case against you. Tell us what happened with that.
Well, in July of 2016, we were notified that we had a cyber squatting lawsuit filed against us by this other Heidi Powell, Arizona Heidi Powell, and it 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 was shocking because there was no possible way that I could be cyber squatting. First of all, I didn't have a website up until the previous call from the trademark attorney, which seemed threatening, and that I'd put up to make sure that um, the world knew who I was and what my intentions were, and the fact that we purchased the domain in 2005. I've been Heidi Powell since before she was born, and she became Heidi Powell in 2010 and was just filing for this trademark in 2016. Quite obvious I wasn't cyber squatted. So that was, we couldn't figure out, and we determined that that it was a bully attempt to scare me into giving her the name that she obviously wanted, because she kept trying to buy it from me. And that thing was dead on arrival. We didn't have dollars to hire an attorney, but Wiley Rain in Washington, D.C., David Westlow stepped forward and took it pro bono. And he said, we really thought it would be over within the first month. And that, it went on for a while, and they weren't getting anywhere with it. And they sought out another way to use the legal system, the courts, to get what they want, basically, by discovering we had filed bankruptcy in 2012. And what they did was call up our bankruptcy trustee and told him that we had hidden assets when we filed bankruptcy back in 2012, that we had this valuable domain name that we didn't claim it as an asset, which was crazy to us because we did claim it in our expenses. They had all of our records. We claimed everything that we spend on internet, on our taxes, and also all of our spendings. You have to give them all your records and show, what your expenses are and what you own. So basically, they told this trustee that if he would reopen our bankruptcy and take my domain name away from me, that they should give him $10,000 for it. And so he did just that. He opened up the bankruptcy. Then they tried to back out of the cyber squatting lawsuit, and it was still going on. While now the bankruptcy is opened, and he's attempting to take it. We did reach a settlement with the trustee. It was actually December 30th, and he filed a new motion to allow us to use an exemption that we hadn't used up and pay $2,000 for our interest in the domain. I don't even understand all that, but we were keeping it. Well, as soon as she found out about that, she has a ton of money, evidently, and she called him back up and offered him $20,000 for it. And so she must really want it really bad, but it's super shameful to us that someone would use our misfortune, use their dollars to come around through the back door and take something that belongs to me, that I'm obviously using, that my whole internet life is tied to. My identity on the internet is tied to it. I'm Heidi Powell, and I've been using it for over 12 years, and this is just, I don't know, it's unacceptable to me that this is happening. So at this point, the cyber squatting case was dismissed, and this is still pending. We've had a couple hearings. The judges ruled on a couple things, but has not determined whether or not they can sell it to her. It's a rather complicated obviously complicated
Sounds like
thing,
it.
and he's not unsure whether it's proper or not, then that's where we're at right now.
How did they assign value to that? I mean, when you purchased it, did you pay $10,000 for it? I'm just wondering.
No, it was $7.99 is what we paid for it, and I still have the
Yeah.
receipt, which I provided, and no, the only domains that I'd ever heard of that were worth something like that were involved in a cyber squatting deal would be like Coca-Cola. In the early days,
Hmm.
we sold some of the very first websites that were created and produced in the Seattle area way back in the early days when people didn't know the difference between domain names, internet
Right.
addresses and email addresses. It was super hard. It wasn't a good time to be selling websites. So, in the early days, there were a few, I don't know, unscrupulous domain investors that bought up a lot of domains that they shouldn't have owned and tried to basically hold them hostage
Hmm.
against companies trying to get a lot of money. So, that's
And that's where the term
that was
cyber squatting was born. Something like
isn't
that. That's
that
clearly
is
taking
isn't it?
somebody's brand and holding it hostage and not releasing it. That I want to make sure that we're clear on that. That's the difference between
Right.
somebody who is investing in a generic name that they see has value or potential value and somebody who's actually taking someone's brand and refusing to let it go. That would be a cyber squatter. So basically,
So to me, that she's trying to take my brand. This is my name, and I've
yeah,
had it longer than she has, and it's tied to my identity. And I have these ongoing conversations. People reply to messages that are personal, not just to me, but to the party that's replying to me.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
it's it's a giant privacy issue, and I was going to say something else, but I can't remember exactly what it was. You had asked.
About so tell me, what has this been like for you? I mean, Kent is not able to get on with us today. How is he handling all of this?
Oh, he's super upset. It was a gift that
Yeah,
he gave me. He gave me my name twice. He married me in almost 38 years ago, and then pretty romantic to give it to me again. And it was not only upsetting my name, but his name. He bought his name probably a year or so before my
yeah,
name, kentpowell.com. And the fact that the bankruptcy got opened up, the cyber squatting, we were upset, but we knew it was going to
yeah,
go away. And we were reassured that there was no possible way that they would be able to acquire the name that way. But when the bankruptcy was opened up, oh boy, yeah, he was very upset
yeah.
because it
Well,
it's just not, it's one of the hardest times in life that you go through, and it's not something that you really want to share with the world. There's a big stigma tied to it, and we weren't trying to stiff our creditors. We were trying to survive. Things happen in life. People have difficulties, and just to come in that way and try and use the court system to get what you want is upsetting.
yeah,
So it's been upsetting for him, very upsetting for me. And it's something that goes on daily, the emails that come in. There's kind of spurts up and down, but just when you think that everything's going great, then there's another email. So it's like a yo-yo. I
yeah.
guess anybody that's been through a lawsuit would know this.
So, Heidi, I'm gonna ask you a question that might seem difficult, but I'm gonna ask just the same because I'm really curious about this. All that you've been through in the past year or so with this case and it being, a domain name, to me, I understand how important it is. I can understand value in names, but to someone else who may not get it, tell us why you continue to fight. Why not just let her have the name?
Well, because there are a couple reasons. One, because it's mine, and no means no, and it's like somebody coming in and saying, they want your house and you not selling it to them, and them coming in figuring out how to take it away from you. It's not right. And if there's anything that I stand for in life, it's what's just and what's right. I always try to do the right thing, and I encourage people to try and do the right thing, and I stand behind the right thing. And this is the wrong thing. And besides it affecting me, I can see how it can affect a larger community. Um, I, my eyes have kind of opened up to the domain community, and how I can't believe how many cyber squatting suits are filed against the investors that have a rightful ownership of their name for companies that don't want to pay whatever they're asking, and they rightfully own it. Companies that were formed after the fact. And I would like that to stop. This shouldn't happen to somebody else, especially a private party that that owns their own name.
Yeah.
And I can understand her wanting it, but what I can't understand is to do this what to me is a despicable thing, and I would like it not to happen to anybody else. So if I can have a hand in um, a twofold. And the other thing is maybe I don't know, maybe I can show this person that this is a sign of weakness. I believe that temptation to take something, to steal something, is a weakness, and maybe this will show her how to be strong. That she needs to have some strength, and be about what's good for all people rather than what's good for herself. So I guess there's a whole bunch of reasons
Yeah.
there, I think.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to ask you one last question, and that is, I know what you would really want to happen in the end of this. You would like to walk away with your name still, in your account, still being able to use it. But what is the
Yeah.
perfect resolution? I mean, are you looking for anything? Will you sell this name if you were given that option again? I mean, what's going to happen? What's your resolution?
No, I don't, no, I'm not interested in selling it.
You
I'm
cannot be
not
more clear,
interested.
right?
No, it's too, it's valuable to me.
Hmm.
It's not worth money. It's my online identity. And that was the first thought when somebody wanted to buy it, is like, I can't sell it because it's tied to too much of my
Who you
online
are.
identity.
Yeah.
This is a new world,
Mm.
that we all live in, that um, we don't realize until you get into this situation how much you depend on things like your email address and your passwords, and um, it's tied to too many accounts, too many newsletters, too many contacts. My uncle emailed me in August that my aunt had died
Oh,
in Virginia, and we had no other way to contact each other. And I shuddered when that came. Well, one, because, I lost my aunt. My dad's, he had three sisters. He's got one left, and
I'm
he's
so
gone.
sorry.
And well, she lived a long life, and she was in her 90s. But the point is, I would not have known about it had she had the name.
Hmm.
It would have gone to her. And those are personal emails and personal contact information and continued conversations on most of these that nobody should have. And I, I, I just can't imagine selling it. It's like selling your um, private communication between your family.
Yeah,
It's something you sell.
I can understand that. So, you know what? I'm going to be keeping up with you and finding out, what's going on, what's happening. And I hope that things turn out in your favor and that you keep that name, you know, in your account and you're able to continue to use it. And I'm just so sorry that you're going through all this. I know it must be difficult, but you do have the support of our community. I'm sure you know that. And Let's talk again. Let's get back on and talk again and find out what's happening.
Yeah, I'm open to that, and I have to say that your people that you talk to and anyone that's watching this that's involved in the domain industry, I see that, and I'm so appreciative of that. That's what's held me up and kept me going, is having the community come up. I can't believe it's been overwhelming, the emails and the support and the people, the phone calls. I've had phone calls and the support on Twitter. Thank you. Thank you, my heart, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for the interview and caring. And I am here for anybody in this industry. I don't have money, but I have a voice, and I will stand up, and I'll be a voice. I would like to be a voice to help.
That's
So
important. Your voice is important, and we admire that strength. And I just want you to know that you are, and I'm sure you already know this, but you, Heidi Powell, are an important woman in your own right. It has nothing to do with celebrity and fame. And I just appreciate and admire, your strength through all this. And I can't wait to talk to you again. And hopefully when we do that, it'll be with some good news.